Hi friend, how are you? I hope you're doing really great and whew, I really debated a lot whether I was gonna do any more videos and where. I closed down all my Facebook pages. I actually also went on a total hiatus. I never logged in on this profile after I moved, and I moved out from Aruba. So news number one, I've relocated. I am no longer in Aruba and I'm never coming back. That's one. Two, there have just been a lot of shifts and changes and clearing, and I will talk to you guys about that. And I debated a lot whether I needed to make any videos and talk to anyone, because for the longest time I've been on social media and I've lived a lot of very public things that I didn't really process. And then last August, I experienced some personal drama, violence directed at me, and all kinds of different things. And it really took a toll on me. I have to be honest. I don't look forward to coming online, and I don't really want to talk to anyone. I've come to this place, like, really pretty dark, in the sense that, what's the point? What am I doing here? What is it good for anyone? And it's partly because of what happened. You may know, you may not know, but in August I was sexually assaulted by somebody I trusted. This person, this culprit, when me and my husband confronted him for what he had done, he turned around and he accused me in a personal, private friend circle. And I say friend circle with this because those people are not my friends. He divulged that I had been saying that he assaulted me. Now, two things that he used that were true was that I did go to his house and I did tell one person, my husband. This group became a council together. They talked smack about me behind my back. It became really huge. When I found out that he had told people, painting me as a liar, before I even went public, before I even went to the police, before anything, I posted about it. I did. The day after. And after that, I went silent. I went silent mostly because my heart was breaking. There are no words to describe what it feels like when somebody you brought into your life and cared for, encouraged, prayed for, celebrated, wants to humiliate you and smack talk you and be violent with you sexually. This is a person I've cared for many years. I've seen him go through a lot of things, and never, ever did I think he would be capable of trying to force me to do something I said, no, not in this lifetime. And whatever he told people and he's telling people, whatever he is doing that because it's his little game. Now, I'm staying out of that. I'm not responsible for the lies and the stories that people tell themselves to deal with the fact that they're psychologically murdering someone. Because when you talk about people and lie to them when they're there, when they can't defend themselves, to people they know and people they think they trust, you take away something you can never give back. I will never get back my trust in any of those people. People I loved, people I cared for, people I worked my ass off the last couple of years to be there for them, emotionally, spiritually, physically, practically. I'm a pragmatic person. If I am in your life, I come and bring you soup. I offer to do errands. I am active for you. I care, and I show it in actions. And I noticed that people don't value that. At least these people did not. And they joined the council, and then a lot of things have happened ever since. Well, I moved. one. I separated from my children and my husband to come away and find a place and find also my center. I was alone for 2 months. My kids came now. They're here with us, finally. I'm reunited with my family. And then this happened. I got metal in my hand. And I'm sitting here right next to the spot where it happened. I just moved into the new house and it was setting up, cleaning, preparing for my kids' arrival. I was very excited and I fell down a flight of stairs. And it was very painful. I'm very thankful that I landed on this arm and did not hurt my back, or worse, my neck, or my legs, or my ankle. I didn't break anything else except my wrist. And I was alone at home with my daughter, so there was one more flight of stairs and I had to open the door. In the pain that I was in, I put my hand in ice cold water, managed to get up the courage to go downstairs, open the door, because I was able to call the ambulance to come get me. But they told me, can you open the front door? Because if not, we have to get the police. They'll have to break your door. And I was like, whoa, and I don't need that right now. So I courageously went down. And yeah, it took courage. It took biting through the pain. It was physical pain. But in the process of all that physical pain, a lot of emotional pain came up. Emotional pain I kind of ran away from, because when these people that I brought into my life and entrusted with my friendship and my care and, calling up and checking how their wife is doing, calling up and checking how they are doing, bringing stuff by, picking up their kids, doing different things, selling them my things for cheaper so they could get ahead, because, families help each other, all those different things. That was very painful. And yet, I have 4 kids. I do not have time, cannot crash. I can't. I don't have space in my life to have a nervous breakdown. I know people who do. And what I mean with that is this. They can have a nervous breakdown, call in sick, get sick pay, sick leave, they get medications covered, they get therapy covered. I don't have any of that, because I work on my own. I don't have a phone number that I can call and someone will say, don't worry about it, you don't have to work. Because I'm a mom. I can never call in sick. Never. Hi, Kim. So this thing that happened, it took a huge toll on me. I was having nightmares and anxiety attacks in my bedroom. I couldn't stay home anymore. I couldn't stay in our new apartment that we just rented. Everyone seemed suspicious and everyone was out to get me. Definitely. And the people who joined together to smack talk me and say things about me behind my back when I wasn't there, they told people, yeah, she thinks people are out to get her. And they don't realize that what they were doing was out to get me. That was an attack. It was an attack on me as a person, my emotional, spiritual, mental, psychological, because they're talking about me and I know it's happening. Hi, Bobby. And I knew immediately when this guy sexually assaulted me, when it happened, it just happened. I was sitting there at that stupid karaoke bar, frozen, because I knew, damned if you say, damned if you don't. If I don't, I'm going to carry it. If I say something right now with all of them, they're going to attack me, because I just knew. It was an instant that I knew, because of how things were set up, how things were done. And the whole process opened me up to shadow work and clearing and dealing with your own emotions, because Yeah, exactly. Jeffrey, thank you. I definitely cut people off. I'm gonna be honest. Um, I'll get to the part of the story, but the things that happen, I'm sharing with you because someone you know may be suffering with from this silently and not talking about it, and at any moment they could give up. And giving up looks different for everyone, but bottom line is that it can lead to suicide. It can lead to somebody living a life accepting things in their life that they're not okay with, that they're not happy with. It can lead people to just give up their dreams and, hide. Um, Definitely for me, I suddenly lost all my trust in men, including my husband. Um, Being touched, being physically like open and vulnerable, or even pretty, all those things started to bother me. Um, I've always had mostly male friends, and now I can't talk to them. I don't want to. I say hi, but that's about it. Um, I'm definitely not myself for now. And that's really hard because um, I I would have never thought that that would be my reaction. Um, because I consider myself very resilient and very strong. I am very strong and I am very resilient. And yet, there are a lot of feelings coming up. And I wanted to share with you. The title of this video is Birthing New Life. And that is really the focus, what I'm working on for myself. And I will be sharing with you things I'm doing. It might help you. If it supports you, great. If it doesn't, just scroll. I like to keep it positive. So if you want to share something positive, encouraging, great. If it resonates with you, great. One thing I will not allow on my profile anymore is objectifying people and disrespect. So if you don't agree, move along. You don't have to tell people they're stupid because they think one way or the other. Understand that your journey is where you are and where you're headed. It's totally okay. Embrace your journey. That's the only journey you're in control of. Nobody else's. There's nothing, I'm going to say this, I have been assaulted sexually by someone I trusted that I thought was a friend, a brother. Okay, brother. Family dinners and shit like that. I'm sorry, but fuck you guys. Seriously, all of you, the ones involved in this, if you ever look at my videos, because I know you're snooping. That's how pissed I am at them. Because there was no need for that. But okay. This person was aggressive and used violence. And for a moment there, my light switched off, right? But it's time to move on because I'm the one in charge of where I stay and what is into my life, what's allowed into my life. I can't control what a person does, but I can definitely control where I linger. And, guys, things can happen to you that can seem like the end of the world, and it's okay to feel that. But at the end of the day, like this one person and his 7 friends and whoever they told and whoever else got involved and has opinions, they're not the center of my life. I have blessings and assignments that I need to do. One of those assignments are the 4 kids, the 4 amazing, smart, funny people. And if I allow someone to steal from me my strength to power the lives of these children, if I allow that, well, the only people who are going to get affected ultimately is them. They need me. So that's where I came from, the whole thing from. No, I'm not going to let this thing suck me in. I'm cutting off these people. They have no access to me. I've deleted them everywhere. I've blocked them everywhere. I've had people complain, so many years of friendship, you're throwing us away. And I was like, I'm not even arguing with you about this. You should know what you did. You should know what you said. You should think, am I a friend or not? If you don't think about it, the time will come. The time will come. I don't have to convince you. And this has a little bit to do with me realizing that I was raised in a cult. And in the cult, we were raised to convince people, to force them. It's called, micromanaging, controlling. By being controlling, you only damage yourself. And you also damage relationships around you and people. But you're not going to get anywhere. So I decided not to do that. And I took a different route. And it's been difficult and freeing all at the same time. And I want to share with you something I wrote a week after I left Aruba. When I got to Aruba, when I got here, which I'm not telling you where I am. It's not necessary. I have a reason for that. Until I feel confident that, I've grounded myself enough. I am not allowing people to know more details about my personal life than they need to know. Because there's some pretty asshole people who just hate me. That's it. Gotta be said the way it is. They've been doing that for years, and I've always given them the benefit of the doubt. No, they don't mean it that way. No, it's not that. Blah, 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 blah. But ultimately, if people are always constantly hurting you and justifying themselves, there's something there that you just need to own up to. You know what? That's it, Life is way too short to spend it with people who want to hurt you. Really, it is. And a friend of mine taught me something very powerful. Just before I decided to leave Aruba, I was debating because I was like, if I leave, then I'm running away. Running away is not my style. I'm a fight to the death kind of person. And my friend said, well, if you're in battle, if you fight, sometimes you're going to lose the fight. You're going to get hurt to die. Oh, Valley, I'm in a different time zone. That's why it's really early for you, but it's midday for me. But so he said, if you're in the middle of a fight and you're about to die or lose, you're wounded, it's better to flee to live to fight another day. And I kept thinking about that. What's the point of you letting yourself get killed in battle, taken down completely, and just for the sake of saying that you stood your ground? He made a good point, and I thought about it, and then I said, okay, I'm ready to let that go. As in, I'm not going to stay here and fight with anybody and try to do anything and control the situation and blah, 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 blah. People will do whatever they want to do, wherever they are, I accept it. They're not in a good place. They want to hurt me. That's on them. I know where I want to be. I want to be strong for my kids. But so yeah, let me share with you. Now I'm sharing this because how we feel about assault, violence matters. If we don't agree to listen to ourselves, we will bottle things up and it'll hurt more. I read this now and I see what that assault did to me. I'll read it. It's shadow work. I wrote it on Sunday, September 15th. That was a week after I left Aruba. So I left on September 8th. How do I feel? What is coming up? My only value is physical beauty, sexual desirability, agreeableness, accepting, willingness to give. I'm actually just for amusement, for breeding, for use, for possessing, seen but not visible. Accidentally there and interesting due to beauty, attractiveness, youthfulness. It makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me want to roar raging. It makes me want to weep endlessly. Subdued, cast in an agreeable role in the power trip of a prideful, heartless, loveless being to be drained, fed off, bloodlet, my resources taken. And then, as I wrote that, I thought, Gaia is me, and I am Gaia. Because Mother Earth is being treated that way. And it is not shocking that if Mother Earth is being treated that way, that people are treating each other that way. And I continue. Not chosen, not longed for, not loved, a convenient cover, a convenient picture-perfect cast member. Yet inside of me, I know I am so much more. This rage comes from a place of justice seeking, no longer asking why. I see why. I understand. Compassion is slowly rising. Alas, it is not yet there. Am I a person? Am I a person? Am I a caste? No, I am elevated. How I feel about it now that I read it is totally different than when I wrote it. When I wrote it, I had tears coming out of my eyes. But I'm glad I wrote it, and I'm glad that I can read it and talk about it. Because, you know, what happens in our life is just events. They should not define you. You're not the sum of all the shitstorms that come at you. And yes, I curse. Get over it. In case that bothers you. You're not the sum of the things that happen to you. You're not, okay? I am not the sum of a child born into a cult that systematically breaks down children to believe that there is an angry, raging, judgy God up there who wants to kill them because they're so nasty and so offensive to him. Systematically told to believe that who you are in and of itself inherently as a person is offensive to the most powerful being in the world, who's supposed to be benevolent but actually just wants to burn you with like gasoline because, you know, you're nasty. You're a cockroach. That's the teaching. I'm sorry, guys. Christianity, Abrahamic Christianity is only all about punishment. I've left completely all of the Abrahamic, biblical Christianity belief systems. I have. Does the Bible have good things? Yeah, sure it does. Like almost all books written by man. And, you know, all writings or all scripture are inspired by God because God breathes in life, but God is source. And I do not ascribe to this angry dude sitting on Mount Moriah or whatever, Mount Sinai, trying to kill everyone who doesn't follow his rules. And who's coming with the apocalypse to kill you all off, who are heathens. No, I do not believe in that anymore. I do not follow it. But this is where I came from. And I'm recounting it to tell you that even those things, or a child who was left to cry hours on end and have no human contact for hours, that's not who I am. I am not deserving of any of those things. I'm not less worthy because I lost a big, huge part of the programming, you know, the development of emotional intelligence or emotional contact. I am not defined and forever, you know, changed and shaped and warped and not good enough just because my parents were, you know, I don't like to use the word, but I'm going to use it anyways, neglectful. Left me there to cry for hours on end until the clock said it was time to see me, which means that there's a lot of emotional needs that were not met. And because of that, I treat myself that way too. I don't listen to myself. Even when my gut feeling goes, this person, you need to like avoid the situation. For example, the day that I got assaulted, I didn't want to go to that wedding. I didn't want to go to that party. I had an issue. My kids were not welcome. And I remember telling Andy, I really don't want to go anymore because my kids should be able to go with me anywhere. And if I can't go to a party with my kids, you know, why should I go? And I was really upset and I didn't want to go. But at the end of the day, I thought, you know what? This person wants to be celebrated and I care about them, so I'm going to do it anyway. My God said, don't go. Didn't tell me why, but this is because I was so used from infancy not to meet my own personal basic needs and emotional needs. Okay, but that should not define me. That should help me see what I can do next. I want to encourage you, whenever you see something happening to you, if you feel that way, I don't know if they feel that way. I know that I do. I know that if I have the same thing happening to me over and over again, I start to think there must be something wrong with me that this keeps coming up. There just has to be something wrong with me. It's me. It's not the world. It's not, and that's not helpful, because by saying something's wrong with me, I'm ignoring to look deeper. What's the lesson? What's the thing that I'm trying to grow? In basic terms, if you see a child that is trying to walk and keeps falling, the only way that he's going to get better is to identify what's wrong. As a parent, you might help your child troubleshoot. For example, you're wearing socks, you're going to slip. So let's get you anti-slip socks or play barefoot. For example, that's just a basic example, but there's always something that we will be able to shift if we look at it without internalizing, without saying, this not good thing happened to me and it's me. I'm not, this says something negative about me. I just saw something funky over here. So right after this assault, there's more. I get a phone call and someone is telling me, why can't you remember the past? And I'm like, basically challenges me, because there are things in my childhood I don't remember. Now this person means well, but this person was not helpful. And I needed to also cut that off, because they are sure, and that was hard for me, they're sure that I had a relative sexually abuse me. And I'm like, okay, you are not there. You don't remember anything you want me to remember. And for a couple of days, I sat with the thought. And also, this is why I wrote this, because the messages that were coming at me and the suspicions, and I'm like, I don't remember any of that. I still don't remember anything. And I would like to allow myself to go through the process of healing. And if there's something to remember, it will naturally come up. I believe so. So I had to think about it. What is it that this world is trying to tell me? Like, what is it that the universe or life or whatever it is that I'm supposed to be learning? And that has been an interesting journey, because I've been able to admit that I haven't really been true to me. Authentic is just being who you are. And that's something we struggle with in our world. I've seen it in other people. I see it in myself. I want to say what I really think, but I think about all the social consequences of certain things, or how people will perceive you. And at a certain point, we gotta learn to choose, what do we care about? Do you care about what other people think, or do you care to be true? And I'm still figuring that out, to be honest, because I didn't want to do, I've been thinking about doing a video for days, and all I kept thinking was, nobody cares, nobody wants to see it. And that's not a good reason not to do it. I'm not doing this for you to like it. I'm doing this because someone out there is struggling with this, and something I say or something that has helped me may help them. And because guess what? I just need it. It's my therapy. So, you know, it's just gotta happen. So I'm doing it. And I had everything set up. My desk, my area. And I was like, I don't know what to talk about. And then I opened my notebook and I went, hey, there you are. Hi, Alexandra. Can I call you Alex? But I got my notebook, and there's more, you know, I got more stuff I want to talk about. Because I've actually personally been leading my life to prove that whatever negative things have been said about me or in opinions that have been expressed are not true. That's not what it is. I've been literally living to prove other people wrong, and it's exhausting. I'm 34. I'm tired. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired. I started doing like certain herbs to calm me down, and I do pain management for this guy here. I eat herbs, specific herbs, for it, and it's super helpful with the pain, because this thing, all my ligaments, all my tendons are like completely stretched and hurt, all of them. My wrist is broken really bad. Here, this big bone, shattered. It was just crumbs. I saw the scan and I was like, whoa. It's funny because that's not where it hurts. It hurts everywhere else. All the ligaments, all the muscle down here, all the way here, and in the back. So nighttime is fun. Not. But where was I going with this? But because of the different pain managements that I'm doing that are natural, started to like really encourage me to like just say what I think. And, you know, I thought it used to be that way, but I was actually very emotionally vulnerable to when I shared my opinion, what people responded. And that was happening. It was a build-up. It started before the assault. It started with my landlord and with people I looked at, houses who were trying to steal money, and I told them in their faces, and there's huge blowback from it. Like, I got punished immediately for telling them they were stealing. That they were lying to people and they were trying to embezzle people into living in a broken house with a broken roof, and they weren't going to fix it. They were like, oh yeah, when you pay rent and you move in, we'll fix it a month after. I'm like, no. And because I vocally talked about it, they started attacking me, and then my current landlord also started attacking me. That was the first round. The second round was my close friends who, well, one of them first assaults me, and viciously. This was vicious, guys. It was humiliating, it was denigrating, and it was violent. It was intended to hurt me, and I froze. I could not defend myself. I did not defend myself. I did not fight. I did not push. That was the hardest part for me, because I saw myself, FYI, because I'm working with the police, got video, got security footage. I saw myself just freeze completely. And it was the hardest thing, because I was like, you didn't stick up for yourself. You did not stick up for yourself. You did not stick up for yourself. It was the hardest thing to watch. And I always thought that I would be a person who will fight to the tooth, for herself. But actually, that's just a thought I have, because actually I've never fought for myself, because I didn't think I was worth fighting for. I'm just going to be honest here. I didn't think I was worth fighting for. I've had so many different things happen to me over the years where I just sat down and took it. And, dried my tears in private and tried to, lift myself up and keep going. And a lot of times, the people who cause these things, I still treat them with kindness. I still greet them. I still think of them like I hope they're okay. The police told me what was on the video, the action that took place, the act. That maximum punishment is 12 years. And I was crying for this person's family and their children. Why? He didn't think about my children when he did that. But I was crying because, wow, if that person didn't think about it and he just did whatever he wanted and put that risk, it could happen. I don't know if the system will work. I'm not putting all my eggs in a basket. I'm not holding my breath. But I am doing the walk, doing the hard stuff, talking about it, getting the reports out, and just waiting. Bottom line is that I've been learning a lot about myself and things that I should change. And so the darkest hour that I've walked through recently, the darkest paths that have come my way have been learning moments, growth moments, and they have inspired me to honestly be myself, earnestly be myself. And that's kind of wonky right now. To be honest, it's kind of wonky because I don't always know exactly what's authentic me or what's still a bit of a, reaction. But that's okay. I think that having been so obsessed with being perfect since infancy, thanks to the cult life as a Jehovah's Witness, made me process the world that way, and I accept it. I honor it, and now I let it go. I think that would be the only thing I can do, because that brings me to activism. Bobby, you were talking. I didn't read all of the messages. I'm so sorry. If you're still here, I think that we all have different journeys, and it's very hard for anyone to look at anything from your perspective. Anyone. No one can do that. No one can look from your perspective. They can embrace it. They can stand with you, as in listen. Can't see it. It's impossible. It's just impossible. I'm sorry. I've always prided myself of being able to sit with people and agree with them, and I'm an empath, so I do feel something like how they feel, but I don't have the whole picture. I don't. That's the reality of life. It's like, even people are still discovering themselves, so they cannot project, they cannot display fully and clearly what they're going through. I had this epiphany like a couple months back when I was remember I was all flat earth, and then I was this, and then I was that. And ultimately, I came to this place where I look at the world from everything is possible. Because as long as the human is observing with intention, things will shift. That is just the quantum mechanics of it all. That's the quantum environment we're in. You don't like quantum, you don't like that word, you think it's witchcraft, that's okay. That's where you're at. I didn't like it at the beginning, but the more I looked into it and the more I reflected on nature, the more it clicked. The more it was like, yeah, that's what's happening. And the observer, which is you, whatever you believe, you create. Whatever you declare, you create. And so If I continue to say I'm depressed and I'm sad and I'm broken, guess what I'm gonna be? So I hope that can encourage you. I see some people on this video feed that are watching that are people who do this very well already, and they're amazing at it. They've encouraged me over the years without even knowing. And some of them have said things that I didn't understand when they said them, that now I started to go like, oh, wow, that is so intriguing and so cool. So anyway, that was my update. If you just got on the video, you haven't seen, I have a broken wrist. It's healing well though, 3 weeks in. This Friday I will find out what's the next step. I don't live in Aruba anymore. I moved away. I'm never coming back. I'm done. Well, I've always left forever, and then, circumstances. But this time, they're going to have to take me in a coffin if they're going to take me. Cancel clear. Cancel clear. I'm going to say that a lot. I've learned from some really awesome people who have educated me and re-educated me to remember the power of my words. And so sometimes we still say things in a dysfunctional way, a destructive way, a death-ridden way, a death-driven way. Like, for example, take me in a coffin. It's an expression, and it's a normal expression in, in our society. We talk like that. However, it is not the best thing to proclaim. Okay? Okay, I'm going to tell you something else. Something else that's kind of funny, ironic, and a little embarrassing. My first husband and I, we were actually done in the first year of our marriage. So, it was kind of over, but, I was afraid. I didn't want to leave, blah, blah, blah. And I remember I said something once then that is now happening. I'm not going to go into details. It's not something weird. It's just, I was trying to break up, and I said, but I wished we could always, all of us stay together in some way. Here I am right now. We're out sharing for a time because I fell and I need help with the kids, and, 2 dads is better, Anyways, it's a great help. It is. And the kids are happy and everyone's got peace. We're very peaceful with each other. We get along. But we're different. Our situation is very different. Other people think it's weird. Whatever. Everybody does things nobody else agrees with. So, meh, whatever. But it has to do with what I said so many years ago. I said it with real intent. I really meant it. We're friends. We get along. We're just not a couple. That's, there's a click there that isn't there. So, that was just really something interesting that I noticed this year. Right now that's happening. I'm like, what? I said that back in 2008. And here we are, 2019, and it's actually happening. It took a time to go around and around and then be that way. But my point is that what you say, what you declare, has power. It has lasting power. So if anything, this week, in this new week, for most of you it's early in the morning, think about what you are saying about your life, about you, about other people, about situations. You declare a thing and it shall be so. The biblical teachings are still very much applicable in certain things. I'm just scrapping the character of that angry punisher that's going to come and burn everything down. But, interesting thing about that is that purification or growth happens in apocalyptic type things. So maybe, just maybe, it's a parable What if it's a parable? And I don't know if you know what a parable is, but a parable is a complicated math problem that takes you out to do some dangerous thought experiments so that you can understand things from a new perspective. And usually it involves walking through a valley of darkness or shadow. It involves going through something that is difficult to navigate. Okay? And most of the time, we don't like to navigate through hard things because we're so focused on the idea of getting into heaven or getting into paradise or nirvana or whatever that we experience the hard moments as torture, torment. And yes, there's gnashing of teeth. You gnash your teeth when things are going bad. You do. Fact of life. Doesn't mean that gnashing teeth is a bad thing per se, or that it's a punishment. It's just part of the process. And I think that once you get to that place where you see it as part of the process and you start to accept it, it gets easier. It's kind of like this. The first days after I broke my arm, my wrist, I couldn't comb my hair, right? So my hair was a mess. It was a horrible mess. My husband wasn't here, so he couldn't help me. I was at somebody's house, a guest, so, they were taking care of my daughter, and I didn't want to ask them. I didn't want to, impose on them, and plus, I just bunched up my hair and I put it away. Then my husband came, and I was like, please comb my hair. But it's not his thing. He's not used to combing long hair like this. So it was painful. It was annoying, and I hated the process. And after a couple of days, I figured out, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks in, that there's another way. What if I comb my hair every morning as soon as I wake up before it gets too messy? And throughout the day, I keep it, in a certain way. And lo and behold, I haven't had any dreads ever since. But I had to go through the hard process of realizing what doesn't work. So my point is that in life, we're generally going through things that are hard because there's something we need to learn, because there's a skill we need to acquire. And it is up to us to stop and think and adjust. And if you're not ready for that, that's also okay, I guess. I mean, sure, you're going to be in pain longer. It took me 34 years to go like, you need to listen to your gut. Punt. You see a person, they do something, they behave a certain way. My gut tells me this person is not to be trusted. I need to be able to pull the trigger and say, I don't trust you. I can't be your friend. I can't talk to you. I can't be in touch. It hurts. I love them. But there's a point where you gotta be real. You gotta be real with yourself. Because when things happen, you're gonna be like, I knew it, and I did this to myself. Well, yeah, kinda. But let's not forget that the person's also got a responsibility, and they're gonna have to deal with it. You don't. You see, the beauty of life, I'm gonna say this, the beauty of life is this. You and I, you individually, are not responsible for punishing or taking vengeance on anyone. This system is perfect. It takes care of itself. It does. People call it karma. People that are Christian don't like it. But you reap what you sow. You sow gossip, mistrust, betrayal. You will sow the fruits of that. What could they be? A lot of different things. I can't tell you. I don't know what you are sowing per se. Can't tell you. I could tell you what I was sowing. I was sowing that I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't sticking up for myself. I wasn't listening to myself. And a lot of things that did not align with me came into my life. A lot of people came into my life that weren't supposed to be there. And at first, it wasn't me. I didn't do that in the beginning. That was systemically coded into me, programmed into me through my upbringing as a child born in a cult. But I'm an adult now. I'm an adult now. So now it's time to pull the trigger on the blame game. And not like, blame you, blame you, blame you, blame you, but more like, draw a little doll of the blame game, shoot it to death, and get rid of it. Well, I hope something in this video was encouraging or helpful or funny or entertaining, and that you're having a good day. And I wish you a really, really awesome new week. I will be putting videos. I don't know yet how often. I don't know yet what about. And I'm going to be okay with that. I am. It will happen gradually. And if there's anything that you would like to ask me, feel free to post a comment on this video. I have a YouTube channel, but I'm not sharing it yet. I don't know if I'm going to put up a blog. I've always done everything with all those different things by the book, and I didn't really see any results from it, except from talking to people on video and just being, present. So that's all I'm going to do for now. And we'll be in touch. Have a great day. Bye.